Hi, I'm Luke. I interviewed my granddad, Ronnie Carroll. He had many interesting stories to tell, and in the first of these stories he told us about his first job working as a page boy and then waiter in the Midland Hotel in Manchester in the 1930s. I hope you enjoy his story.
Well, you know my name, Ronnie Carroll, and I live in Warton here, and have done quite a while. And so, yes, I'm getting on a bit now. I know I don't look my age, but I'm 92. Yes, I had to leave school because, as I said, my father died, and so I said to my mother, well, I'd better get a job, you see. So I went and into the Midland Hotel in Manchester. You've probably heard of it, because it was the poshest hotel then. And I went in and went to the reception desk, and the girl there, or lady, said yes. I said, is there any jobs going? Because I was only 14 years of age then, you see. And she said, oh. She said, hold on a minute. She spoke to another lady. She said, oh yes, there's a room for a page boy. Would you like to be a page boy in the hotel? I said, yes. She said, how old are you? I said, I'm 14. Just nice, she said, right. She said, well, will you start tomorrow? So I said, oh, right, oh. So I went home, told my mother, and she was very pleased. And then I had to go to the school to tell them I wouldn't be in that day, next day, because I was leaving. And the headmaster said, well, that's all right, when I told my father died. You do it, go on, you start straight away tomorrow. So that was that. I was in the hotel for a while.
What did being a page boy entail? What did you have to do in your job there?
Well, you have to go and shout the person's name when they want it on the phone. The phone rings, oh yes, and the receptionist said, Page, and you go to it and say, call Mr. Smith, tell him he's wanted on the phone. You see, so you go around the hotel, call him Mr. Smith, call him Mr. Smith, please, you know, until you find him in there somewhere, and he comes and you tell him he's wanted on the phone. Yeah, that's one thing.
How long were you there for?
About, well, I changed my jobs in the hotel. I was a page boy for about 18 months, and then they wanted a waiter in the restaurant. So I went into a restaurant as a waiter.
Right.
Yes, and I've been waiting ever since. Anyhow, but one good thing about being a waiter, you know, you could watch everybody eating and all that. The hotel manager of the restaurant was a French man. Oh, and he was very strict. We had to line up all the waiters in the morning before the restaurant opened. Right hands shown, and we'd all have to do like this, and he'd walk along, nails cutting, telling each, your hands are not clean enough, go and wash them. And then he'd walk around the back and tap you on this, said, you want your hair cut? Yeah, head waiter this. So you have to be really, very
pristine,
absolutely, yeah, very good. Yes, and during the period of being a waiter, I waited on royalty. Oh well, all the actors and actresses and all those used to stay there. Many of them, yes.
That's where they used to stay at the time.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right. Yeah.
So when did you leave?
When did I leave?
The hotel, yeah.
Oh, when I had to go. Well, I didn't have to go, but when the war broke out.